citizenship, man. Because if you don't, then they're just preyed upon by people that will take advantage of the fact that they're undocumented and not pay them what they're legally supposed to pay them and not give them benefits if they're legally supposed to have benefits. And they can't say anything because they're worried that immigration is going to get called on them. So these people are in this constant state of anxiety. And then they hear about the ICE raids, like at Home Depot. Like, what?
Joe Rogan has voiced strong concerns about the recent arrest of Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. and the possibility of his deportation from the United States. Rogan called for a responsible, thorough examination of the charges, warning that rushing to judgment could lead to injustice. He emphasized that not all immigrants should be treated as criminals and urged authorities to ensure fairness before taking drastic action. According to Rogan, U.S. immigration authorities have been unfairly targeting immigrants, often piling on charges, and labeling them as gang-affiliated without concrete evidence. He noted that many
Why? Like, I think, as crazy as it sounds, the only way to do this and look like you have a heart is evaluate people on a case-by-case basis. Like, there's good people. There's good people.
It's also so complicated because it goes back for so long. And the thing now is that there's two very polarizing opinions of what America even is or represents or what job it's supposed to serve to the world. So, like, you know, in some, yeah, sure, there, like, for any country to exist, there has to be something there that identifies what it is as a country, and it just seems like without citizenship or without some definitive thing of who's a citizen or not, it's like then it's not even a country.
Many legal immigrants' green card holders included face unnecessary accusations simply because of how they appear or who they are associated with. The arrest of Chavez Jr., a well-known figure in international boxing, has caused widespread confusion, especially in Mexico. Fans struggle to reconcile the allegations with his public persona, especially given his recent appearances at major boxing events.
Noticia de última hora, el gobierno de Estados Unidos acaba de anunciar que han detenido al boxeador mexicano Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. Sí, mi gente, esto tan solo unos pocos días luego de que tuvo una pelea muy grande contra Jake Paul en Los Ángeles. Así es, mi gente, y si no me creen, solo vean el comunicado que acaba de publicar el Departamento de Seguridad Nacional. El 2 de julio, ICE arrestó al boxeador mexicano y alien ilegal criminal Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. Ahora él está siendo procesado para ser removido expeditamente de los Estados Unidos. Este asociado del cartel de Sinaloa tiene una orden activa de arresto en México y está siendo buscado por estar involucrado en el crimen organizado, el tráfico de armas de fuego y explosivos. Bajo el presidente Donald Trump, nadie está por encima de la ley, incluyendo atletas famosos a nivel mundial. Y pues la verdad que esto es una locura total que no me esperaba para nada, pero bueno, demuestra cómo está la situación actual en Estados Unidos. Eso dicho, déjenme saber qué opinan, difundan para que todos sepan y como siempre recuerden que cualquier cosa yo los mantendré informados.
Events. Many are questioning how someone now linked to serious accusations could have stayed under the radar for so long. The timing of the arrest just after Chavez Jr.'s high-profile fight with Jake Paul has further fueled suspicion. Critics believe authorities may have intentionally delayed action to avoid disrupting the bout, which drew massive public and media attention. This sudden shift from sporting headlines to legal drama has sparked speculation about what might have been happening behind the scenes. Adding complexity to the case is Chavez Jr.'s personal life. His ex-wife,
like, to support just rounding people up and just assuming they're all gang members. I'm not saying they're doing that, but this is the worst case scenario, right? Yeah. They get a bunch of people in a room, they rope them all in, and one guy's just someone's cousin picking someone up to give them a ride home. That's possible.
And now you're back on the one innocent person now you're right back.
And what if that dude is not doing anything wrong and he's got some stupid tattoos and they decide that this guy's a gang member and now you're in a prison in El Salvador and you're not even from El Salvador. And now, you know, you were just a hairdresser or you were a tattoo artist
Family
or whatever
man.
you are.
Yeah.
You came over here and maybe you got a green card and maybe you don't. Maybe you were just given asylum because a lot of people from Venezuela were given asylum in America.
Yeah.
And then you get shipped to El Salvador where you're not even from El Salvador. So that the fact that exists scares the shit out of me.
His ex-wife, Frida Munoz, was previously married to the son of a known cartel leader. While there is no public evidence linking Chavez Jr. to organized crime, this indirect association has reportedly raised red flags with immigration authorities. In today's climate of heightened security, even distant ties to criminal networks can trigger serious consequences. Chavez Jr. was arrested in dramatic fashion, by ICE agents in Studio City, California. The agency's involvement indicated that this was more than a routine immigration issue. It was presented as a matter of national security, possibly influenced by the broader network of individuals linked to Chavez Jr.'s circle. The scandal has deeply affected.
Just days after losing to Jake Paul, boxer Julio Chavez Jr. has been arrested by ICE and may be deported. The allegations include trafficking firearms, ammo, and explosives. Apparently, a cartel affiliate has an arrest warrant for him back in Mexico. This is from a statement of the Department of Homeland Security. We've seen a lot of ICE activity around the sports world recently, including the Dodgers claiming they denied them entry, including a now-deleted Facebook post that ICE would be at the FIFA Club World Cup in Miami. Pretty insane story. Let me know what you guys think and follow me for more. I'll be sure to provide you guys updates.
Affected his father, Julio Cesar Chavez Sr., a boxing legend and national icon in Mexico. His son's legal troubles have cast a shadow over his reputation. Despite the elder Chavez's decades-long dedication to sport and his efforts to uplift Mexican boxing, in a heartfelt public statement, Chavez Sr. defended his son and urged for fairness and due process. He reminded the public that behind the headlines is a human being who deserves a fair hearing, not a rush to judgment driven by sensationalism. Ellie Seckbach, a respected boxing journalist, questioned the basis for Chavez Jr.'s detention. Based on his long coverage of the boxing.
Again, I knew that Chavez was having issues with the law in the past and, had his drug issues. I didn't know he just got arrested on a weapons charge the year before, and I definitely didn't know that he was in some way linked to the Sinaloa cartel. But the Zone announced it on the broadcast. I don't know if that's something like it inadvertently triggered the Department of Homeland Security to be like, oh, he's in the country, we need to go get him. Or just the fight itself being in America was like part of that. But I'm pretty sure Chavez was already living in America. I don't know. But this is just insane to think that this boxing match potentially was a massive part of the reason he has now been, detained and is going to be removed from the United States on, active weapons charges. So we keep reading. In August 2023, he entered the country legally with a B2 tourist visa that was valid until February 2024. Chavez is also believed to be an affiliate of the Sinaloa cartel, a designated foreign terrorist organization. ICE arrested Chavez in Studio City, California on July 2nd. So yeah, Chavez, I guess, is living in LA. So they arrest him, and it says on April 2nd, 2024, Chavez filed application for lawful permanent resident status. Chavez's application was based on his marriage to a U.S. citizen who is connected to the Sinaloa cartel through a prior relationship with the now deceased son of the infamous cartel leader, Joaquin El Chapo Guzman. Chavez Jr. is married to the former wife of El Chapo's son. Oh, no, bro. Oh, God, dude. Again, I just keep thinking maybe they made a mistake. Maybe Chavez, is being mistaken for somebody else, or it's not that. I don't know how serious this is, but he has a weapons charge, and he's married. Not to say this is connected, but the lady is a U.S. citizen, but she's also the former wife of the son of the most famous cartel leader ever.
Boxer. Seckbach stated that Chavez Jr.'s character does not fit the image of a criminal. His comments have highlighted deep divisions in the boxing community, with some arguing Chavez Jr. is being unfairly targeted due to his family name and associations rather than actual evidence of wrongdoing. Skeptics also question the consistency of the authorities' actions.
In the world, I did not know any of this leading into this right now, this moment. This is crazy. On December 17th, a U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services made a referral to ICE that Chavez is an egregious public safety threat. However, in a DHS law enforcement system under Biden administration indicated Chavez was not an immigration enforcement priority. Then, on January 4th, 2025, the Biden administration allowed Chavez to re-enter the country and paroled him into the country at the San Ysidro port of entry. Following multiple fraudulent statements on his application to become a lawful permanent resident, he was determined to be in the country illegally and removable on June 27th, 2025. This is a day before his fight. So hold on. They were tracking Chavez Jr., I guess, after multiple fraudulent statements on an application for permanent lawful residentship.
If the case centers around visa or documentation issues, why was Chavez Jr. permitted to participate in a major international boxing match? The delay in enforcement until after the fight has led to theories of strategic timing or ulterior motives. The situation escalated dramatically after an official statement from Homeland Security, which cited possible links to organized crime and other illegal activities. The case has since shifted from immigration paperwork concerns to a far more serious matter with international implications. Reports suggest that Chavez Jr.'s behavior while in the U.S. may have contributed to increased scrutiny. Critics argue this case reveals gaps in coordination between sport authorities and law enforcement and highlights how high-profile athletes can operate in legal.
Boxing icon Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. has shared a statement in Spanish on his social media. And I'm going to translate it for you to English and share with you what he said in Spanish. Obviously, you heard the news, breaking news. This really shocked me because I know Julio. I've known him for many, many years. He's one of my favorite fighters in boxing because he's a tremendous human being. None of these accusations make sense to me. They say that he's part of a Sinaloa cartel, that he's involved with importing weapons and ammunitions and all kinds of stuff that's so far removed from him, it's not even funny. So here's the statement from Chavez Sr. In essence, I'm going to translate this, but he says, the family wants to respond to the statements that have been made by U.S. officials, and they say, hey, we are deeply dismayed. The family is caught off guard by this situation, but it says, difficult times. We are totally and have unconditional support for Julio. We fully trust he is innocent, and I believe that as well. They say they're going to wait till the justice system in both Mexico and U.S. do their process. They do believe Julio will come out innocent of all this. And they want people not to jump to conclusions. They also say Julio, above all, is a son, a father, a human being who has faced multiple challenges in his personal and professional life. As a family, they say, Julio says, we respectfully ask the media to wait for the process to unfold to see where it goes.
Well, crazy news in boxing. Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., who just fought Jake Paul, is now arrested and also got deported. This is from Homeland Security. The account, it has the gray check mark, okay? The post says, on July 2nd, ICE arrested Mexican boxer and criminal illegal alien Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. He's now being processed for expedited removal from the U.S., and this Sinaloa cartel affiliate has an active arrest warrant in Mexico for his involvement in organized crime and trafficking firearms, ammunition, and explosives. Under President Trump, no one is above the law, including world-famous athletes. Our message to any cartel affiliates in the U.S. is clear. We will find you and you will face the consequences. The days of unchecked cartel violence are over. Hear me out. Free Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. Just for the love of the game, the boxers, man. Okay, look, if you're gonna do this, there's no way that Diddy gets freed, right? Just gets away with everything, right? You can be like, oh, but you got charged for this and that. He's not gonna face no time. He's gonna get $250,000 fines or something, right? They might take him to civil court, but he gets to be free. He does not. Come on. Also, if this was the case, why not arrest him at the event? They literally said, let's watch this fight first, and if he wins, he gets to go free. They literally, Trump was like, that was such a bad performance. You're arrested, bro. I'm finding you right now. That's absolutely insane. I thought this would be, covered somehow, some news media or someone would call this out, he's actually doesn't have papers. Actually, he's got, I don't know about the crime and stuff. This is, my first time experience, knowing about Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. I know that, he fought Canelo, and it was, really bad. I want to go back and watch his fights because I looked through his record. I saw the run he went on and everything else I know of his dad and his work. But this is, insane. Also, I know that he got out of rehab just recently. Man. Jake Paul beat a cartel thug, bro. No. I hate this timeline, this Jake Paul timeline. Just go ahead and get your, boxing match out of the way and get slammed, okay? Please. Let me know what y'all think in the comments down below. Do you think he's innocent or guilty? And make sure to like and follow for more. I'm on the road to 10K.
This week, the world of boxing was rocked by a shocking development, the arrest of Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., the son of Mexican boxing legend Julio Cesar Chavez. With rumors of deportation and connections to organized crime swirling, the story has quickly spiraled into something far deeper than just a legal issue. Prominent voices, including Joe Rogan, have spoken out. Rogan criticized what he sees as a troubling trend in the U.S. immigration system, a system that, according to him, sometimes unfairly targets immigrants based on assumptions or...
This is all a big shock, not anything that anyone expected.
Boxing reporter Ellie Seckbach, who runs ES News, has been friends with Chavez Jr. for 15 years.
Unbelievable, unreal. Yeah, they're putting chains on him like he's a...
He even submitted a personal impact statement to help support Chavez's application for a specialized visa.
He's a great dad. He loves his wife. He loves his kids. He's the type of person that if I do a video about a coach that his kid has cancer, he will call me 6 a.m. Hey, my lawyer is going to send you money for the kid. We're going to take care of the expenses.
But Homeland Security tells a very different story. Officials say Chavez Jr. is wanted in Mexico on serious charges linked to organized crime, accused of trafficking firearms, ammunition, and explosives. They also allege he has ties to the Sinaloa cartel.
There's always more to the story. The headline doesn't always reflect the content.
They're saying he's got a connection to the cartel.
I think they're making a mistake here.
Or associations, not solid evidence. You can't treat every immigrant like a criminal. We need to look at the facts, examine the evidence, and not just go off assumptions. These are people's lives we're talking about. Chavez Jr.'s arrest came shortly after his highly publicized fight against JakePaulFight that drew huge attention from the media and boxing fans worldwide. Many are asking, why did authorities wait until after the fight to act? If there were serious charges or concerns, why wasn't he stopped before the bout? The answer might lie in the complexity of the case. According to reports
here, they said they're not going to do any further statements at this time. They appreciate is to allow the authorities to complete their investigation and do their work. This statement ends. I'm going to try to read to you the following. Again, it's translation from Spanish to English. We ask for a prompt resolution that clarify the facts in favor of Julio, and we reiterate our call for procedure, respect, and objectivity. Sincerely, the Chavez family. So Julio is asking the media to give him respect. At this time, they don't want to comment until this situation unfolds, until the authorities complete their investigation. They're shocked, they're in dismay, but they're out supporting their son, who's had challenges in both his personal and professional life.
The reports, the arrest wasn't just about visa or immigration paperwork. Homeland Security has suggested that Chavez Jr. may have indirect connections to organized crime, mainly through his past relationships, especially his ex-wife, Frida Munoz, who was previously married to the son of a known cartel leader. While there's no public evidence that Chavez Jr. himself is involved in any criminal activity, authorities appear to be operating under what they call a national security concern. That means even distant associations like being related by marriage to someone with cartel ties can trigger intense scrutiny that ICE agents arrested Chavez Jr. in dramatic fashion in Studio City, California, an operation that signaled this wasn't just a routine immigration check. It became clear this was about more than just a green card. This was about optics, networks, and possibly a bigger investigation. For his father, Julio Cesar Chavez.
We have some news. Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., the boxer who just fought Jake Paul, has been arrested by U.S. immigration agents and faces deportation to Mexico. ICE took Chavez Jr. into custody on July 2nd in Studio City, just 4 days after his match with Paul. Officials say he overstayed his visa and is wanted in Mexico for organized crime, including trafficking weapons and ammunition. According to the Department of Homeland Security, Chavez is connected to the Sinaloa cartel and has an active arrest warrant in Mexico. He had entered the United States in August 2023, and his tourist visa expired in February. Despite this, he fought in a major boxing event last week against Jake Paul. The Trump administration immigration authorities are moving quickly to deport him under an expedited removal process. This case highlights the administration's intensified immigration enforcement even against high-profile figures, and spotlights Chavez Jr.'s fall from grace in the boxing world. I will keep you updated on this. I'm Jared Sisser. Follow me on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube for all breaking news, updates, full stories, and deep dives.
Chavez Sr. The situation has been deeply painful. A respected figure in Mexico and in the boxing world, Sr. released a heartfelt statement asking the public not to rush to judgment. He reminded everyone that behind the headlines is a human being, a son, a father, a person who deserves due process. We ask for fairness. My son, like anyone else, deserves to be heard in court before being condemned in the media or deported without the full truth coming out. Boxing journalist Ellie Seckbach also weighed in. Having covered Chavez Jr. for years, Seckbach described him as someone who doesn't fit the profile of a criminal, saying his arrest feels more like a case of guilt by association. Fans and critics alike are now asking tough questions.
We have breaking news right now. ICE has detained a world-famous boxer, Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., just days after his fight with Jake Paul in the United States of America. This is significant news. According to ESPN, he was detained for entering the United States illegally and will allegedly be deported to Mexico, where he faces organized crime charges, according to the Department of Homeland Security. He just finished fighting a match against Jake Paul in Anaheim, California, and this arrest comes days after that. Official says he has an active arrest warrant in Mexico for alleged involvement in organized crime and trafficking firearms. He is a famous boxer, one of the most famous boxers in the entire world. He was here for a massive fight with Jake Paul. This was one that was watched by millions of people across the country, and well, now he has been detained by ICE and is going to be sent back to Mexico. Significant news right now. Spread the word. I'll have a full breakdown of this on my Substack at the link in my bio, so subscribe for free. And as always, follow along for all the news you need to know about.
If Chavez Jr. truly posed a legal or security risk, why was he allowed to participate in a major fight on U.S. soil? Why now? And is this a case of selective enforcement where high-profile individuals are targeted for reasons beyond what's being publicly stated? Some believe this case could be part of a larger pattern. In recent years, we've seen how law enforcement and immigration agencies sometimes use public moments like sports events to make dramatic statements. But others argue this might reflect a flawed system where assumptions and associations matter more than actual evidence. As it stands, Julio Cesar Chavez Jr.'s future in the United States remains uncertain. He could be facing deportation, more serious charges, or even be cleared of wrongdoing depending on what evidence, if any, surfaces in court. One thing is clear. This story is far from over. The intersection of celebrity, crime, and immigration policy has once again created a media storm, and the world will be watching to see how it ends.